Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to do some roast beef hash. I have this leftover hunk of pot roast that we had for dinner, so I'm going to put that in the food processor and grind it up. I will do that off camera because you do not want to hear that. I have taken potatoes and diced them up. I like them fairly small, like in the canned version of roast beef or corned beef hash. I actually like the canned stuff. I kind of like them this size, but didn't get them all there, but good enough, small enough. You can cut them any size you like. I have an extra potato here just in case I need more potatoes. I have rinsed them several times and I will rinse them again to get as much starch as possible out of the potato. Just mushing those around. So I am going to chunk up this roast. I'll let my dogs have the carrots for a treat, and then I'm going to put it in the food processor. If it's cold, let it come to room temperature. If you saw my last video on this, my food processor wanted to run away because it was so cold. So I'm gonna chop this up into small pieces, grind it up, and then we'll be back and mix it with the potatoes. Okay, so we've got all of our potatoes diced up. I think I need a bigger bowl. Okay. I did dice up that last potato. There's our potatoes, and here's the meat, and this is the grind I did on it. And the amount of potato to meat that you put is totally up to you. I mean, the more potato you have, the further your meat will go. And then we're just going to stir that up. Get this out of the way. And you'll want some water to put in your jars. This is all cold pack. We'll be starting with a cold ingredients, cold jars, cold canner. And this is going to be pretty meaty, so if you wanted to, you could add more potato. I did not trim the fat off. You want to have that fat. I mean, this was a very lean roast, so it didn't really have any. But what it did have, I left. Now, if you have a ton of fat, you'll want to trim some of it, but leave your fat because you'll want that for when you're cooking it up out of the jar, and so it doesn't dry out. Put those carrots aside for the dogs. some water. Oh. Your jars. My very old poker. Funnel. Discombobulated from all that winter weather. We're just going to fill up our jars to 1 inch of headspace. And you want to really pack them down. Do them like I do my hamburger. You have the pickle packer. I don't know why I didn't get mine out and wrap it up, but you can use a pickle packer. I know that sounds odd, but you can pack them down with that. It's a very handy tool. And you can't see a thing I'm doing. Sorry about that. Do another one. Make sure you can see. I should have been looking. So again, we're gonna fill the jar. And it helps if you use your debubbler to move some of that down. Then I use my spoon and really pack it down. That's what I meant by the pickle packer. If you have the fermentation kit, it has a pickle packer, wrap it up in saran wrap and use that for like your hamburgers and things like that. One inch of headspace. Pack it down. And I love these hashes. I think they're really good. I mean, if you have to eat your canned foods, may as well be things that you enjoy. We enjoy most all of our canned stuff. I did some pot roast in a jar the other day and canned my leftover chicken soup. And I got dogs wanting in or out of a room. Bella's trying to be helpful. She's the worrier. What, Belle? I heard you. Trying to save somebody locked in a room. She's the self-appointed babysitter of my 2 little dogs. She's very good about that. When Precious was alive, she came in and she was just barking and barking and barking at me. and went outside, so I followed her outside and I couldn't figure it out, and she kept looking in the air, so I looked up and there were a ton of hawks out there, and she was worried about Precious. Precious was my little Chihuahua, which I cannot tell you how much I miss that dog. I won't talk about her anymore, I'll cry. So just keep filling your jars. And as you can see, that one little chunk of meat, and I think I used 5 potatoes, of course some of them were big, is going to give me several jars of roast beef hash. And these will process for 75 minutes pints, 90 minutes quarts. I've actually never done these in quarts, but one of these will feed me and my husband. Okay, I'm going to keep doing these jars. I'm going to go save the dog that's locked in a room somewhere, and I'll be back when these are filled. Okay, we filled all of our jars. Now I'm going to drop my paper towels everywhere. We're going to add water. What in the world? You guys need to calm down or you're not getting any carrots. That snow has kept you cooped up too long. I do not completely fill them with water. For one, they're going to release juices, and for two, I don't want my hash waterlogged. I guess you could use some beef broth. I don't think I put water in that one. I have never used beef broth. We are going to wipe our rims with vinegar. And you can fill yours with water if you like, and then see the difference in your product. And see which you prefer. But if you want it like the store-bought canned hashes, don't overfill them with water. And like I said, your roast beef is going to release some fats and such, so. There's that. You want to make sure there's absolutely no grease or food particles on the rims of your jars to ensure a good seal. And you could do hash with any of your leftover meats if you wanted to. Pork roast hash, corned beef hash, if you can afford a corned beef. They have gotten insanely expensive. Even a brisket to make your own is insanely expensive. So we got 6 jars out of that little hunk of meat, where you probably would have gotten 1 pint if you just canned that meat by itself. I reckon you could have made stew, or I mean, there's a lot you can do. Fingertip tight. Going to put them in our canner. I'm going to put some hamburger in a couple of jars that I've browned off to fill the canner. And then we will come back and close this baby up. So I'll be back. Okay, we have filled up our canner. My canner takes 3 quarts of water, so that's in there. We're going to match the V on our lid right there to the V on our handle right there. Lock it. Let it come up to temperature. This will pop up. Steam will come out of here. Let steam vent for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, add your weight. Use the weight appropriate for your area. And as soon as it comes to a gentle wiggle, set your time for 75 minutes pints, 90 minutes quarts, and adjust your temperature as needed so you're not rocking too hard. So I will see you when these are coming out of the canner. Okay, you guys, it's ready. Always take the lid off away from your face. It's hot. That's a meaty one. They all look pretty meaty, actually. I could have added more potato to that. The other 2 are my hamburger, so I could fill the canner. So there you go, you guys. There's our roast beef hash. So, utilize those leftovers, create new meals, put them in a jar, put them on the shelf. With that one roast, we have 6 meals in a jar here, and we got 3 meals out of the roast, 2 dinners and 1 lunch. So, stretch that food, don't waste anything, and yeah, cook it up, can it up, save it up, put it on the shelf. So if you have any questions, post them down below. If you haven't, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And I will see you all in the next video.